Hello, everybody. It's been a little bit of a time. So, when we last left off, most of our most of our green circuits got munched quite meanly. So I have put a lot of turrets around here. We don't have full coverage, far from it, but we have coverage on probably the most heavily targeted areas. That said, there are still areas that we are going to get attacked from, but they'll chiefly target the high, activity areas, and that'll hopefully mean that they get dragged towards the turrets that we have put down. And I shuffled things around a little bit here, but for the most part, it's still pretty much exactly what you were looking for the last time. And we do not have the third and final component of military science up, but I'm kind of curious because the next thing that we need is to be able to get military free, and that requires blue science, as does the tank that we are ultimately aiming at. And the only... we can make the majority of blue science already. We can make engine units, we can make electric mining drills. That's no problem. The big problem is the advanced circuits. And the reason that the advanced circuits are such a problem is that they require plastic bars, and the reason plastic bars are such a big problem is that they require petroleum gas, which is made by cracking crude oil. And looking around our map, you can spot exactly where oil is found by looking for a pinkish dot, the first of which is right here, and it is literally one singular, spout right there. The next ones are all the way up here, and there's still only 4 of them. Either way, though, these are so far away from the sort of nexus of our base here that we're going to have to set up some kind of a train. Which is fine, you generally expect you'll have to do that eventually, but the hardest part of setting up a train network is the very beginning of it. Everything after that is pretty easy. But there's also the concern that if we set up a base for mining out all of this oil, it's going to be so far removed from the rest of our base that it's going to be very vulnerable. We're going to have to keep that heavily guarded. And right now we're having kind of a bit of trouble just actually guarding our own base, so... yeah... This is gonna be a time. So, with that in mind, there is one advantage to starting up with getting our military science going, which is... well, we have to make our piercing rounds as part of one of the ingredients. So, I guess that's what I'm doing today, because, I definitely want to make sure that I have plenty of bullets if we're going to be dealing with a whole ton of attacks. So there's that. So let's look once again at our numbers, and I genuinely don't remember if these are the same numbers as last time. So, I might end up having to curtail or expand what I'm about to make here, but it shouldn't be that big of a concern. So, we need approximately 10 assembly machines working on piercing rounds to 3 or 4 working on just the firearms. So, that means we can more or less do a system that's very similar in nature to what we have here, where things are made in one state and they're passed out through the other. The piercing rounds are just copper, steel, and the magazines that we can easily make with just the 4. So, let's give ourselves enough room. I feel like we might as well just make it a bit luxurious. Okay, and then we need at least 1 line for the conveyor, and then the inputs of assemblies. Okay, so there's to there, and then 1, 2, 3, there, and there. And that can make the firearm magazines. Yay. And then we can take our firearm magazines out of here and into our 10. Again, let's just give ourselves enough room there. Into our 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Piercing round magazines. Right there. Okay, that's a good start. A good start. Yeah, there. Okay. We're gonna need our inserters. like so. All fairly straightforward so far. We're going to want an output as well. We could have this in the middle as we've done up here, but let's change things up a little bit. Let's have this be a little bit more interesting. There we go. And then that output line will be located right there. Okay, thankfully things have backed up considerably on the belts, so what we are presently seeing is that a lot of our major supplies are basically just available in the shop, as it were. So, don't need to worry too much about running out of materials, because we've got a whole ton of them backed up. Okay, now some of these materials are identical, so if we look at here, we have iron plates, we have steel and copper there, so there's a similarity, but we are probably going to want to have to be, we are probably going to want to make these things a bit different. Do I want to shuffle this down just so it's at the bottom of that? Or can I just zip this over? I can probably zip this over. It's probably fine. Which I'm fairly certain I said a few times when most of our green circuits were getting eaten. So, mileage may vary. Okay. And that, oh really, right there. Okay, so into here shall go our steel and copper. So doop and doop to there, that'll get us a nice mix halfway. And we don't need any copper or iron there, we just need... yeah, this one we just need to feed iron. That's pretty dang easy, honestly. So let's just get ourselves some lines. And let's do a similar job there. There is music, but it's decided it's going to be very, very quiet right now for some reason. So, me. V and 5 on you game, why not? So there. Okay, so we input iron into here. The input lines shouldn't require more than half a belt for these, so we shouldn't have any problems there. Let's get some power lines into here, and it's going to need to be a little bit luxurious for power. And there, and we'll mimic that over here. There, there, and there. Okay, that's all set. And there, there, and there. And it would be a little closer than this, but it's probably fine that it's not. Is that fine down there? Yes, it is. Good. And there. Okay, so they all have power. So as soon as we plug these in, we should see some piercing round magazines start to get made. I probably want to put down a few turrets over here, because I don't think this is quite covered by that. And I really, really would prefer not to have all of me hard work eaten again. There. Okay, so feed iron into here, which conveniently is right where we want it to be, more or less. Far enough down that I don't have to worry too much. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So that should get our regular magazines crafted up. I'm astonished that I haven't seen any alerts that we're being attacked yet. Oh, there we go. Called it. Looks like it was a singular. I'm not quite sure where you came from, young lad. Right. So now, we just need to get copper and steel over to here. And everything got balanced just over here, so we don't need to worry too much about where we get it from, but we of course always want to be taking it from our outside line. Might as well fill this in, why not? Same place? Yep, thought so. There's almost never only the one when it comes to an attack, so it's quite probable to me that there would be somebody else involved. Pick that up. There. There. Into there. And then we just need to mix steel into that. I wonder if it would have made more sense to... no, because we couldn't put it there anyways. Okay. So to there. And let's just jump over this turret. This turret probably won't be here forever, but for now, it is. And that should set this all running in short order. Okay, hurrah, hurrah. And here they come. All of the piercing rounds that we're going to be needing to make military science. What's the first thing I can use military science for that will help us? Gun turret damage seems like an obvious choice. There is also bullet damage, and there's also grenade damage, which is actually kind of useful for us, surprisingly. Because our current grenades take 2 hits to get rid of terrain, like that. If you upgrade it at least once, then it goes away with 1 shot. So it's actually really nice, because grenades are really helpful for clearing terrain, as it turns out. And since we now have highly rapid manufacturing of piercing rounds, obviously it's not at its peak yet, not remotely. We're looking for 40 a second. We are currently getting, let's see, about 160, 170-ish per minute, which translates to 2,400 a minute. Like 2,400 a minute is what we are looking for. So yeah, it's gonna be a waste. But at least we can restock all of the turrets that we are currently in need of. So there's that. But okay, and now we need 32 factories making military science, and then we need to feed all of the military science we produce into our machines over here, which is going to be a little bit tight. I think we can manage it, though. I think we can just about manage it. We probably need to refactor how the science is loaded in anyways, but for now, let's just try and delicately get rid of some trees. Which are going to cause some... this is going to cause some problems for us in other ways as well, because trees absorb a large portion of pollution that comes their way. So, essentially, by getting rid of trees, we are going to create ourselves another problem, which is it's going to make it's going to make our pollution reach far. Okay, so now we need a free input building system, and we need to have 32 factories with space for all of the boosting that we're going to need. Now, we have a problem, because over here, we have a cliff, a rather substantial cliff at that, and we don't currently have access to cliff explosives. Those do come down, right about there, but we don't have explosives because we don't have military science. We also do not have sulfur processing, just because we haven't needed it yet. I guess I might as well shove that on just whilst we're doing all of this, since we do have red and green science. And cliff explosives are needed to get rid of these. Up until that point, you must simply navigate. It's not a huge deal for us right now, because we probably want to be pointing our military science upwards anyways. We just need to make sure that we leave space for everything. So there's that. So one for the inserter, and then 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So we have our input line and our output line, like so. Set that to military. Get ourselves that and that. Not quite there. There. Okay. And we need 16 aside for these. So let's just clean this up a little bit. So let's see. There's 3, 4. I'm beginning to wonder if it might be better just to have multiples here, because 16 is going to go pretty high up. This is why cliff explosives are useful. Okay, so that is 6. 7, 8. That is half the length that this needs to go. Oh dear. Might be wiser to split these into 2. So we have the 2 modules and they meet together. It's worth saying also that military science is one of the very few that actually comes in 2 per crafting. Most things can only come in 1. For this, 2. But okay, let's just shift that. Get rid of this. And since we now have that, just move it to about here. And let's just set ourselves that, so that we know where the external lines are here. And plonk that there. Nice, we need to hit this rock. So now, we need to figure out what goes where. And the first thing that comes to mind is the most rapidly crafting item should probably go on the outside. So here we have 3 rounds, or 3 ticks. There we have 8. And there we have 10. So, piercing rounds outside, gun turrets, and grenades on the inside. Oh, hey, this suffered some damage, evidently. There are gun turrets on the ground, but they're not actually on a belt. Just pick that up, because I'm probably going to need. Okay, that feeds all of those in. I do not have 32 assembly machines on me, and I probably am not going to have enough belts here either. I might actually. I will, however, clip these so that they're not actually at a space that we don't need them at. This is definitely a behemoth worthy of the military-industrial complex, I'll tell you that. Obviously, nothing here is going as fast as it can be, and we are definitely going to have to shuffle this outwards a bit to reach our full final rates, and we appear to be having a problem with our coal. I did set up a thing over here, but it's evidently being grossly outpaced. Which is not terribly surprising. So, bleh. Bleh, I say. And there, right. So if we gave this some power and actually gave it some lines to come out of here, it is not going to reach. Okay. So sulfur processing gets access to batteries as well as explosives. Batteries are important for 2 major reasons. The first is that they power everything in your exosuit. So when you get to more useful and meaningful forms of armor, you need something to actually power all the gizmos and gadgets you've got, and hey, we can see a couple of them over here. The other thing is laser turrets, and we've seen turret creep before, I've demonstrated it. Laser turrets are probably the option when it comes to performing turret creep, because all you need to drag behind you is a power cable, and ideally you have some robots with you, but for the most part you just need to make sure you got some power, and some laser turrets, and some power cables, and you are set. They have a very big range, they fire very quickly, and they are very powerful. And of course, you don't have to worry about putting ammo in them, so they fire immediately when you place them. Provided, of course, they have power. But that's a ways off, so for now, let's go with batteries. Because the turrets also require that we have military science in them. So, bleh. Bleh. So what we're looking for here today is to just get the bare bones, at least, of this running, and then we can start to worry about everything else that's going on. Okay, so if we get this hooked up... That's... we are out of power. Ah, I... forgot something, didn't I? I can't quite see what. Okay, well... what have I forgotten? Did I forget to hook this up to up here? Is that the problem? Or did we finally run out of the backlog? No, we've still got the backlog going. Oh. Ah, I can pretty much guess what's happened here, which is that we've drained the power so sufficiently that the inserters actually feeding the coal in have basically not had enough speed, so we've ended up with not enough coal coming in. That's probably what happened here. And how are we doing over here? We don't have quite enough power, I think, to find out just yet, but let's see. Oh, yeah, we also have another dead miner. A couple dead miners. So I probably need to change this over from using that small one to instead using this much bigger one down here. Which means I need to upgrade mining again. Which is a concern, to say the least. A heckin' concern. Also, I need to upgrade the inserters because these ones, even at full power, frequently find themselves too slow to catch stuff out of non-standard belts. But at least these ones down here aren't lacking for it. But okay. Knowing full well that I'm about to be out of power again. Let's check on all this. Everything has a charge to it. Good. So if we turn this around, it should all start working, and then probably already like almost immediately. Yeah, we're already out of power. Right as I hit it. Come on, there's gotta be a way we can sort this out. Of course, there is a better way. We can in fact have things like solar panels and all sorts. But we don't right now. So I'm just gonna feed a bunch of coal from the steel and see what we can get going. So if I stand right here, I can pick up a whole bunch of coal. It's not very quick, because these are regular old vanilla, as it were, transport belts. Vanilla yellow, I guess would be. So, it's gonna take me a moment. I think this area is covered by our actual radar, but here we go. We have a near plentiful supply here, so it shouldn't take me too long. Anytime now. Okay, last stack. There we go. Perfect numbers. Okay. So down over here, we should... Yep, they're definitely crafting. They've definitely been fed. Are we gonna see... Yep, yay, there we go. Huzzah! Our first military science rolling off the belt. Or onto the belt, or along the belt. Rolling... our first military science crafted, everybody. There we go. And I evidently have a power supply issue to sort. How many do we have here? Is this 20 to 40? No, this is actually half the length this can be. We can double this. We might have to. But that's what I have for right now, so hope you have all enjoyed, and I shall, as ever, catch you all the next time.